these on display right there. That looks good. Maybe just, yeah, just like that. Hey, welcome in. How's it going? Yeah. Yes, we are new. This is actually our first week. Thank you for being one of our first guests. Yeah, come on in. Yeah. Welcome. We are a specialty coffee shop. My name is Greg. It's a pleasure to meet you. Yeah. Thank you for checking us out. Yeah. So, yeah, I could see you kind of made a face there a little bit when I said specialty coffee shop. I totally get it. I think that there can be a lot of people who are a little pretentious about coffee and making it a certain way and making it the right way or whatever. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to start my own shop and create something a little bit more inclusive and welcoming and spend a little bit of time educating people on the deliciousness of coffee and all the awesome things that you can do with it. Yeah, don't worry about it. No, we all start somewhere when it comes to coffee, and we like what we like, and there's nothing wrong with that. Whether it's a black cup of coffee or extra shot latte or some sort of caramel macchiato, whatever it might be, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But let me walk you through our menu a little bit, and I can talk you through some of our drinks, maybe explain a few things to you, and we can help you figure out what drink you want today. Sound good? Great. Awesome. So, you can see our menu up there. We have at the top our espresso drinks. So you can order an espresso by itself, which is, we typically do 2 shots of coffee. It's about this much in volume, and it's just meant to be drank quick, like a shot of espresso. Just sip it right back, and it's gone. But that can be a bit strong for some people. Yeah, it has a fairly bitter taste to it. There can be other notes in there, some chocolate and a creaminess to it just by itself, but typically can be a bit of an acquired taste. Yeah, we don't need to start there today, but whenever you're feeling adventurous, let me know. I'm happy to pull you a shot of espresso. But then right below it, you can see we have our macchiato. Now, I should note that we make our macchiatos here the traditional Italian style, which means that it's going to be those 2 shots of espresso and just the tiniest amount of milk. Literally just like a dollop of foam. Yes, it's going to take up very little space in the cup. And I know that that might sound a little bit different from what you might be expecting if you've had a caramel macchiato, maybe from Starbucks or somewhere else. This big 16, 24-ounce drink. Yes, that is not a traditional macchiato. No, not by any stretch. But that's okay. That's fine. And we do have something like that on our menu, which we can get to in a moment. But below the macchiato, we have something called a cortado, which you may also have heard of as a Gibraltar or a piccolo, if you have ever traveled to Australia or New Zealand. They tend to call it that down there. All these different names for one drink, but that would be roughly equal parts espresso and milk. So yes, a little bit more milk than a macchiato. This would be roughly 50-50 espresso to milk. So we would steam some milk up for you and add just a little bit to the espresso. Gives it a little creaminess, a little bit more of that milky flavor. And when you steam milk, it gets a little sweet. So there's a natural sweetness to the drink as well, which is pretty delicious. Yeah. Next on the menu, we have our cappuccino. Yeah, our cappuccino is, we make it kind of an old school way, I guess, with some heavy foam on top. Yeah, we we typically steam this one a little bit drier than the rest of our drinks, which tend to have a kind of silky milk texture. Our cappuccino is a more traditional one, where we have a little bit of that heavy foam on top where it kind of puffs up and stands on its own. Yeah, it tastes really good, especially with a little bit of maybe powdered cinnamon on top. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Then the next one on the list there is our latte. And that one is going to be, if you've ever seen any latte art videos on like Instagram or YouTube or TikTok, yeah, that's where you're going to get those really cool designs, hearts and flowers and swans. And you let me know what kind of design you'd like, and I'd be happy to pour it for you. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and yeah, that next one, that's our cafe mocha. This one's one of our sweet drinks for sure. So this one is similar to a latte. It's going to be 2 shots of espresso and some steamed milk, a little bit more than a cappuccino or a Gibraltar or a cortado. And this one we're also going to add a little bit of dark chocolate, melted dark chocolate. So it mixes really, really well with the coffee. And it's very sweet, it's very decadent, and tastes great with a little dollop of whipped cream on top as well, if I do say so myself. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really good one, especially if you're looking for something a little sweet, if you got that sweet tooth going on. Yeah. Not really looking for something with milk, though. Okay, that's fine. We do have a number of drip coffee offerings or hot coffee offerings. We have drip coffee. We can do it right here on this dripper right here. And what I would do is I would put the coffee right here in the top, and then I would take a kettle with some boiling water, and I would pour it slowly over the top of the coffee, allowing the water to slowly seep through and pool down here at the bottom. Yep. Yeah, it's very similar to a coffee maker, like you have at home, I would assume. But that one uses steam instead of poured water. You fill that little tank on the side of your coffee maker, and it steams up to the top and then drips back down. But by doing it this way, we can have a lot more control over where that water goes, so we can more evenly extract the coffee for a more delicious cup. Yeah, definitely. That one sounds interesting. Yeah, for sure. Well, we also have, before you make any decisions, we also can do a French press or an AeroPress. Yeah, yeah, you've tried a couple of those before? Not a big fan of French press, yeah. I find it can have a little bit of a silty aftertaste, just because the coffee sits with the water for so long, and you're using a metal filter to strain it out when you plunge that French press down. Yeah, so it tends to leave behind a little bit of silt, a little bit of the small particles of coffee grounds. Not my favorite. The sensation of drinking a little bit of the coffee. It's not my favorite, yeah. But yeah, we absolutely can do a pour over for you. Yeah, we have a few different coffee offerings, a few different choices here. Are you a fan of any particular coffee or region? Yeah, well, coffees here are going to taste different due to a number of different factors. Where it's grown, the country of origin, that's probably one of the big determining factors. You can know a lot about a coffee if it comes from Ethiopia or Colombia, or you've probably heard of the really fancy coffees that come from Hawaii or Jamaica. Yeah, we don't have any of those here, not just yet. But we do have a really delicious coffee from Ethiopia, if you'd be interested in trying it. Yeah, it's a small batch. It's an Ethiopia Yirgacheffe, and it's absolutely delicious. Yeah, let me see if I can find that for you. Hold on one second. Okay, I think I found what we're looking for here. So, this is what I have left of the Ethiopia Yirgacheffe, and you can see it's a medium roasted coffee. Not too dark, not too dark at all, as you can see there. And This is probably enough for, it's about 2/3 of a cup. Probably good for another 2 cups of coffee or so. Yeah, especially if we're making it as a pour over like you asked. Yeah, so, yeah, I think what I'll do is I'll grind some of this up for you, and then we'll prep the dripper, and we'll kind of go into it from there. Does that sound good? Okay, great. Well, I'm just going to put these down right there, and our dripper is ready right here, but we are going to need to put a filter in there so that all the coffee grounds don't fall into the cup. So let me reach right up here, and let me just grab some coffee filters here. This particular one, this is a circular shaped dripper with a flat bed, meaning the bottom is flat. Some drippers are more of like a V-shaped. Some of them are more cone-shaped as well. This one has a very flat bottom with just a small hole for the coffee to extract. Yeah, so let me get the filters out. Put that away for a second there. Just take one filter and put it right there. And we'll put the rest away and use those later, I hope. Excellent. So we now have our filter in our dripper. We have some coffee beans. We're going to need to ground these up. So to do that, I'm going to take my hand grinder. This is a Porlex Mini. Not sponsored. And excellent. We're going to put the coffee in here at the top. Attach the handle to the top. And as I turn the handle, you can hear there's a little coffee stuck in there from the last time it was used. We'll get all that out so that it's not in our final cup. There we go. You can see I turn the handle, and ground coffee is going to miraculously come out the bottom of the cup. But I have to go give this a quick wash. Be right back. Alright, I have returned with a fresh Porlex, nice and clean. I'm just going to put down the top for right now, the handle, and take the top off. And now, the tricky part. We have to get the coffee beans in here. The one drawback, in my opinion, is that it's a little bit tricky to funnel the beans into such a small opening. What I've found works best is, well, first we have to get the top off of this jar. So, there we go. What I've found works best is to take a little bit of the coffee into your hand and slowly we lost a few. I don't spill any coffee beans as a barista is the day I will retire. Now, we'll seal that back up. Keep those beans nice and fresh. And now, we grind. My hand does tend to get a little bit tired doing this, but since it's your first time here, I wanted to make a special cup for you. All right, there we go. There is our coffee. Oh, it smells great. Take a sniff. Yeah. Even the dry coffee smells great. All right. And in it goes. All right. Well, I'm going to put this away. And now I need to go get us some hot water. Please, excuse me. Okay. I have returned with some hot water in a swan neck kettle, which you can see right here. And what this is going to do, careful, it's very hot, is the water is going to flow out of the spout exactly where I want it and nowhere else, instead of a regular kettle, which is going to just pour the water all over. We want to be very precise with where we're pouring in this coffee. So I'm going to start with my first pour, where we bloom the coffee. Just a little bit of water, and you can see some of it and hear some of it falling through. And what this does is it's going to prime the coffee to get it ready for the rest of the extraction. Yeah, coffee, if you just threw all the water at it at once, it wouldn't kind of shock the system. It wouldn't really extract very well. So what we end up doing is we just add a little bit, kind of like adding water to a sponge before adding the soap. It gets it ready to add the soap or whatever else. It kind of primes it, and coffee kind of acts the same way. So we're going to let that sit for another 10 seconds or so, and then I'm going to add a little bit more. Not the whole thing. We're going to do this in a couple of stages in order to give the coffee time to extract and not overflow. All right. So as you can hear, now more coffee is extracting and ending up down there at the bottom as the water is now running through and slowly extracting from the grounds. And then a little bit more quickly, we add some more water. We don't want that sound to run out. We want that water to keep flowing slowly. That was 3 pours. We want to add 1 more. Nice evenly spaced out 4 pours, the bloom included. Doesn't that just smell great? Yes. And now we wait. Once that all finishes running through and dripping clean, I'll be able to pour you a cup. While we wait, I'm just going to put away this kettle so that it doesn't spill anywhere. In perfect timing, it looks like your coffee's almost ready. Be right back. All right. So, now the coffee's pretty much done dripping. Drip, drip, drip. And I'll just put that down on the counter there. And here we have our delicious Ethiopia Yerlichev. You can see it's fairly light in color, and that's partially because of the roast color, like I showed you with the beans. Not roasted particularly darkly, but also because of the volume of coffee we used. So we used a little bit less coffee than other places, which is going to make it maybe not as strong a cup in terms of body. Gonna get a little bit more of a lighter body out of this, which I think complements the flavors in the coffee very, very well. So, it is a little on the hot side, of course. You can see the steam coming off of it, I think. We're gonna give it a quick swirl to make sure those flavors are mixed in very nicely, and then let me grab a mug from here, and I'll pour this for you. Excellent. Here you go. All right. There you go. And looks like we have just a little bit extra. So I'm going to take a quick taster as well. I usually like to have a little bit left over from each cup for quality control. I want to make sure that as I'm serving coffee throughout the day that I can just double check and make sure it's of the best quality. So, pouring myself a little taster, giving it a quick swirl so it cools down a little bit faster. One of my coffee mentors, as I was learning, often would say to me, cold coffee never lies. What he meant by that was room temperature coffee never lies. Extreme temperature either side, extreme heat, something that's extremely hot or extreme cold, a very, very cold beverage, our taste buds aren't equipped to discern as much in the flavor spectrum when things are at that extreme temperature. The example I like to use is it's often why you'll see a cheaper beer advertising that it needs to be as cold as the Rockies or something to that effect. Again, no shame for people who enjoy that kind of drink, but that extreme cold hides some of the less ideal flavors from it. Same reason why McDonald's coffee seems to be piping hot. But here we have a cup that's slowly cooling down, and now, oh, that smells great. Yep, I love giving it a quick whiff first to really enjoy the smells, since taste and smell are so closely matched together. It is often helpful to prime the taste buds with a smell. And then a sip. Pardon me if that was a bit loud. One of the things that my coffee mentor also taught me was that in order to truly taste a coffee very quickly, and we're tasting quite a lot of coffee throughout the day here, you want to slurp. Not because we're rude, but because the act of slurping allows the coffee to hit all of your taste buds at the same time, giving you a full mouth coating of the flavor and allowing you to really taste everything that the coffee has to offer. So, if you'd like to give it a try, I would not be offended by the slurping. Delicious. Yeah. Yeah, this Ethiopia, if you have ever had like a wine tasting course or a beer or whiskey tasting course, you can have a coffee tasting course as well. There are all sorts of flavors to discern in each cup of coffee. This one is giving me a bit of lemon or lemongrass kind of flavor, a mild acidity to it, but not overpowering. It's still quite smooth and fruity. Yeah, that's really good. Well, I'm almost done with my taster, and you should definitely go and find a seat somewhere and enjoy that cup of coffee. And if you need anything, milk or sugar for that, if you'd like to grab a pastry or anything like that, please don't hesitate to come on over and let me know. Again, thank you so much for checking out our cafe. It is our first week, and we really appreciate it. I hope to see you here again soon, and maybe we can try some different items on our menu next time. Yeah. All right. Well, have a great rest of your day. Take care.